Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well, that you're all having an incredible day. This video to the art market, the art world. A lot of people have been asking me, like I always mention at the end of a video, if you have any more questions, ask me them and I'll respond back to them. I decided to compile this into a video because it's kind of all over the place, but it all pertains to art. So without further ado, here's some of the questions that I've gotten and here are the answers. People have been asking me that they've been looking for a lot of artists to buy. And when they found stuff from the artist, especially if it's Shepard Fairey, they've been finding open edition prints. Open editions pretty much are when an artist creates something, normally they create something in an edition of 250, 450, maybe only 500 pieces are ever made. And then if you get one of those pieces, poof, they're all gone. Open editions normally means that the amount that are going to be printed is open, can continue going on forever. However, that's not the case. You can find open editions for exhibition posters. You can find open editions for even the things behind me. If you recognize, these are also signed Shepard Fairey pieces. What happens is that there's usually a cutoff limit. So i.e., they end up making around 2,000 pieces of said thing. For me, what's the most important? When I collect art, I try to, this is me personally because I'm a bit obsessive when it comes to it. So I tried to collect all different forms of it, i.e. for Shepard Fairey, these right here, there are unsigned variants, there are signed variants, there are numbered variants, AP variants, and usually like large format variants that are like twice the size of they're absolutely massive. The question that was being proposed to me was if these were still worthwhile. Yes, they're still worthwhile. Once again, this goes back to the discussion that we were having before. You do not have to push tons of money into something for it to be worth something later. The important thing is that you have it from that artist. And I made sure to mention before, a handful of artists, but there are, of course, many other artists out there. These are just the artists that I myself collect from. What happens is that anything that is made by them legitimately, so if you try to buy something from another website that simply isn't real or is a reproduction, it's not going to be the same exact value as something that we know legitimately is from that actual artist. The thing that I usually go for myself is that if it's signed, it does very well. And I'll explain it to you in this way. I've looked before for Keith Haring posters that were signed and unsigned. Warhol posters that were signed and unsigned. You kind of get the hint, you know, things signed and unsigned. As time goes on, the posters by these artists or exhibition prints or whatever the actual thing might be by these artists that were unsigned still went up in value. It's just that things that are signed tend to go up a lot higher in value. However, they still have value. They still do gain value over time. I mentioned to the person in the comment section who was saying that they had found a couple of Shepard Fairey prints that were signed and they were wondering if it was worth it. If you look on that website I told you about before called Espresso Beans, EXPRESSO Beans, I think it's .com. I don't know what the actual ending is. Just Google Espresso Beans. You'll see from Shepard Fairey's prints, and this also pertains to other big artists as well. Once again, if you're in this for the beautiful look, by all means, buy what you want. If you're in it for the bigger artists, use Espresso Beans to see exactly all the other stuff that they've done before in the past. If things have gone up in value, have maintained their value, and exactly what the course over the long-term frame is. For stuff on Espresso Beans from Shepard Fairey, you typically find that his open edition, so things that he does, I think like twice or thrice a year, where he just signs the bottom of it, what ends up happening is, at a certain point, he runs out of them because he's not printing them into infinity. They go off the website and he makes a new one that goes into the actual website. When these things are no longer on his website, the prices start going up. They become a lot harder to find. After the around 5 to 6 year period of a Shepard Fairey open edition signed print, they start at $35. For those of you, this is not me advertising it. It's more of I'm telling you the actual numbers. Start at $35, and then eventually, after a 5-year period, you see on the charts, they're anywhere from $200 to $250 roughly in value from the $35. It is still lucrative. It's not as lucrative as a signed and numbered variant of it. However, it's still totally fine. For me, it's all about the long-term hold. When I've looked at stuff for Keith Haring and Warhol, a lot of the, sorry, wow. A lot of the exhibition posters for Warhol and stuff like that I've picked up or have that are signed or unsigned. Obviously, the signed ones go for a lot more. However, the unsigned ones still have a significant amount of value because it is still a legitimate piece or exhibition poster from Warhol. Hope I answered that question. Cool, got that one. People have been asking also how to acquire exhibition posters. There's no easy answer for this one. I would recommend going through either galleries or through museums. Museums are probably the easiest way. It depends on what you're really looking for. If you're looking for something from the 70s, 80s, or 90s, you're not going to find them on a museum website. However, if you're looking for something from a famous artist who currently has an exhibition out or currently is doing stuff like actually making art and has not passed, you can go on the actual website or museum website that is usually associated with that artist. I can't tell you, it's impossible. There's no one website. People were asking me for specific websites when it came to these things. It depends on what you're looking for. Damien Hirst had an exhibition in Italy last year or the year before, like something of the depths. We did like a sea creature thing. That took place in Italy. So you would have to go to the Italian museum website where he had that exhibition, and this is where you'll be able to find the exhibition posters. A lot of them do things for the Louvre in Paris. You have to go to the Louvre's website to be able to find the exhibition poster. This is how it works. It's a hunt. It's not a very, I don't want to say that it's not easy, but you have to also know that there's going to be a bit of work when you're looking for these things. There's not simply one website that you can type in and go, enter, got it, nailed it. You have to also find these things. Like a lot of the game for me is I like scouring the internet to be able to look for these very rare, very old posters. I found stuff from a lot of artists. I'm not going to name their names. There was one artist, not joking, he had a signed something poster that came out about a good year or two before he really took off on Instagram. And I found the website. I remember, here's a tip. If an artist interests you, Google their name and then type an exhibition poster. Go to images and you'll see all the posters there. If one stands out to you, if one really looks nice to you, you'll be able to see which websites are also selling the actual exhibition poster. This is probably the easiest way to do it. But you'll still then be linked to other websites, which then may give you replicas or reproductions and stuff like that. It's best to go through an actual gallery. Galleries will, of course, charge you more because they're a gallery. Or going through the actual museum's website themselves. There's no simple real answer for how to acquire exhibition posters. It depends on when you're trying, what year they're from, who you're trying to get it from, and if that artist currently has an exhibition going on. Same exact thing with exhibition posters. People think that these are printed to infinity and beyond. That is also not true. Damien Hirst, for example, has many exhibition posters that came out years ago. He doesn't really make a huge amount of work right now. I assume because he's older and probably he's super rich, probably just doesn't care. These posters, while they are open edition, they also have an edition number. They were only 250 of them printed. They're still relatively rare. They just may not be signed and stuff and numbered exclusively by him, but you can tell. There's a website that he used to have that only deals in books now. It's called Other Criteria. They used to have his stuff on there. They had it on the actual website. An edition of 250. Like you would know even for the actual exhibition posters how many of them were actually created. Most efficient ways to acquire exhibition posters is museums or through trusted websites. As far as trusted websites, this is also part of the thing as well. I don't know how to really put it into words. It's like, if you're going to be buying an apartment, buying property, buying a house somewhere, there are going to be terrible estate agents sometimes. Sometimes you get in contact with these people who are very rude, who will hang up on you, who you probably should not be using. Other times you'll find a company who's absolutely wonderful, absolutely incredible. You have to scour the websites yourself. And a really interesting way, someone was asking, should you contact them? Yes, by all means, don't be afraid. Like this is also, don't forget that you're giving them money. And you have to make sure that what you're going to be getting from you giving them money is also authentic. Ask them. What you're selling on your website, it looks really good. I wouldn't mention the price, like be like, this is really cheap. Like, why is it so cheap? Ask them, are you selling reproductions? Are you selling replicas? Is what I'm seeing on this website, I am interested. Is this real? Can you please tell me if it's real? And they go, yeah, it's real. Sometimes they'll give you a COA, a certificate of authenticity. Very rare, very, very rare. However, use the internet to your advantage. If you find a website that you see has like really great stuff that may be too good to be true, Google around, ask other people, have they used this before? Like look for like ratings and review from that actual company website. Like there's not just one website to be able to buy all these things. There are tons. I've had a lot of success myself with actually buying from galleries, but I contact them. Sometimes I'll say like, this looks really cool. I like it. Can you tell me what year it's from? And they'll go, oh, this is from 2014. And I'm go, oh, okay, it's a replica. And they go, yeah. And I go, why don't you have that on your website? Well, we just assume people will ask us. Always ask. Don't be afraid. Same as I think if you're buying a house, you have to ask questions. It's your money. That's just kind of how it goes. Someone said, yeah, contact galleries by email. By all means, don't be afraid to contact these people. Someone said how to stay in the loop. I don't know exactly what you meant by that. If you're trying to stay in the loop for contemporary, brand new, shiny artists, Instagram. Easiest way. There's no other real easy way to do it right now. There's a website called Art Collectors. It's Art Collector and then a Z at the end. They post all the newest art that comes out from like well-known artists. However, it's not really keeping you into the loop as to what could potentially be popular. However, use Art Collectors by all means. I also referenced them sometimes. Wow. I reference them sometimes for artists who I'm currently looking to collect, just to see if something else has come out, if I missed something, if some other piece by them happened to be released, or if I'm trying to complete part of a collection, if I want some more by them. Look at Art Collectors. You'll be able to see as well. Type in the name of the artist, all their works will drop down. It's a very good thing. If you're trying to stay in the loop as to what's coming out or what could potentially be coming out, Instagram. And this usually only pertains to prints that are coming out from the artist. When it comes to exhibition posters, these are never advertised. Like there's no real place for you to be able to figure out which new exhibition posters are coming out. It's kind of just like you're scouring, like you're looking for treasure almost. You have to just kind of, once again, the easiest way that I could recommend, type in the name of the artist that you're looking for, exhibition posters, enter images. This is how I do it. I'll tell you that right now. A lot of times if I'm bored, when I'm bored, I look for investments. A lot of my friends think I'm crazy. No, yeah, just do that. Type in Shepard Fairey. Shepard Fairey doesn't have many exhibition posters because he's a fairly prolific artist and he's constantly releasing actual new prints all the time. So he has, I think maybe 1 or 2 exhibition posters, maybe, but his stuff is still, he makes sure that his stuff is still actually very affordable. He is the most affordable artist, blue chip artist. And usually blue chip is used for like Damien Hirst, Jeff Koons, Kusama, stuff like that. But Shepard Fairey has over 1 million subscribers on his Instagram. So he's incredibly well known. Yeah, it's Instagram. And for older stuff, that you have to find yourself. It's on websites. It depends on what you want, what you really think you need, what artist you're trying to acquire. Trying to acquire who you want in your collection. My collection in the very beginning was just me grabbing everything, but it's very finite now, and I only collect from a certain amount of artists who I myself believe are going to do incredibly well in the future. This is why I collect from them. There's no real way to stay in the loop except for Instagram, and there's no in the loop place for exhibition posters. I myself, every month or two, if there's an artist who I have been collecting, I'll Google like exhibition posters for said artist, and things will pop up and I go, I don't recognize that. When I click around, I make sure to check and I go, okay, this is new. Where did this exhibition take place? How can I buy this? And I end up buying the exhibition poster. But sometimes I'm late. This happens. This also happens as well. I am not always getting every single thing that I want. There are many pieces that I've tried to acquire that have been gone, and I don't myself trust buying on eBay because replicas can be made very, very quick. People mentioned that artists that I mentioned in the other video, that their works were sold out. They're sold out because they're popular. It's part of the hunt. You have to once again understand that me and you are not the only people who are trying to acquire these pieces of art. If you have 1 million subscribers on your Instagram, and you're releasing something, this is usually a very big frustration for Shepard Fairey. It's not only you. I've been here thousands of times. Shepard Fairey will release something that has an edition of 400 and it's sold out 38 seconds. And that's not a fake 38 seconds. You can try it one day if you don't believe me. And when he releases something new that is signed and numbered, go onto his website, especially if you don't plan on buying it. Just sit there for the entertainment. Refresh the page, it'll be gone. He's incredibly popular. This is why, while I collect stuff from Shepard Fairey, or I buy from galleries as well, who may also have been able to purchase some of his work, and I buy it for a higher fee, and that's simply because I myself believe that down the road, his work has the potential to go up in value, so therefore I don't mind paying more for the piece. There are also, once again, other artists for you to collect. It just so happens that Shepard Fairey is, the phrase isn't low-hanging fruit. It's just more like his price point is usually where a lot of people want to fall when it comes to buying art. And because of that, he has a huge amount of people who are also trying to acquire his art at the exact same time. They're going to be sold out. He's a very popular artist. Art is a very huge market. A lot of pieces from major artists who I mentioned before, they may have sculptures, they may have toys, they may have prints, they may have exhibition posters, they may have whatever the case they might be releasing. There are tons, there's a huge movement on Instagram for like art collectors, people who are trying to like buy art. It's very lucrative. You make a lot of money. There are a lot of pieces that I showed you when I was like holding up my stuff before that I haven't sold these pieces. I plan on keeping these pieces for a very long time. And you make a lot of money on just in the value of said piece going up. So just remember that you're also competing with a lot of other people. It's not just me and you. It's also my other friends as well. I know a lot of people who are also trying to buy these things. But if you work your way out and find multiple other artists who are also doing exceptionally well and producing a lot or often or stuff like that, who have consistent returns over the course of a 10-year period, also start collecting these artists as well. What was the other part? Yeah, you don't have to buy exclusively from those artists who I was talking about. Don't assume that because I mentioned a name that you are forced to buy from that artist. There are at least a good 15 blue chip artists. And even below that, you start getting into the Daniel Arshams, into the Shepard Fairies, into the Cleon Petersons and the Piet Paras. Like these are artists who are already well known, who are probably going to continue to make art, continue to be well known, and also get you a profit in the future. Espresso beans, espresso beans, espresso beans. Look at the 10-year trends. Look at how popular this artist is. Look at their Instagram, how active they are. It all ties in together. Someone was asking about auctions. I myself do not do auctions. I don't like the idea of competing with other people for things like that. I don't like the idea of bidding. And then after a week, I don't get the item. I like seeing a price and buying it. That's not to say that auctions might not be good for you. A lot of auction sites that a lot of people don't know, similar to kind of the eBay thing, the auctions, it is impossible for them to be able to comb through every single thing that's on the website at that time. So there is a chance, once again, that you could potentially be buying a replica or a reproduction of something, which is usually normally what you don't want because you want the original. So I don't do auctions. I make sure that I'm buying either from the artists themselves, from a museum. I do buy from museums, and also from galleries. Don't be afraid to contact them. Like, don't be afraid. You can send the messages on Instagram. You won't get a response. Don't be afraid to contact them in some sort of way. Like, are these real? What year were they made? Et cetera, and go from there. You have to, it's your money. You're in control of the actual purchase. People were asking me what websites. For older posters, that's also impossible. I can't give you a website for posters from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I know one or two of them. I will be 1,000% honest with you. These are websites that I use. I will not give you the secret to my website buying. There are about 2 or 3 websites that I use to buy very old posters, and they're the ones that I use. I've seen other ones in other countries as well that also have the same exact similar things, but I use the one from my country or the one that I get the cheaper shipping rate. It's part of the game. Like it's just you have to figure it out as well. It's not difficult. There's not only one website. There are tons of different websites. Write a list of what artists you want to start collecting. Google, once again, third time, Google exhibition posters or works by them. And this is how you get into it. And you'll start fine-tuning exactly which artists you want to collect. Yeah, what was in the questions? And contact them. Don't be afraid to contact them. I believe after scouring the comment section that I've answered these questions. If you have any more questions pertaining to the art market, buying prints, buying originals, something that I missed, even more so, yeah, anything I missed, ask me in the comment section below. I apologize that I cannot, losing my voice, I apologize that I cannot all the time answer all of your questions. I do have other businesses. I do have another YouTube channel. I'm trying to always do stuff. I'm trying to make videos. I'm trying to make content. There's always a lot of stuff going on, and I'm not always at the computer. When I can answer you, I will answer you. If I get the same question over and over or pertaining to one specific thing, I will make an entire video trying to make it a lot easier for all of you. I do hope that I helped. Hope that you all enjoyed. Hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.